Yo, it's the ultimate finesse, your girl's favorite wrestler, Chris Bay, and you're watching and or listening to Count It Out, and it's just too sweet.
Listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Apter Seal of Approve Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler. I could not be joined by Mike this week, but I think we did okay finding someone to step in, making his return to Count It Out for the fourth time now. I kind of like this little yearly tradition we got going on. Of course, you can see him on the latest season of WWE Unreal on Netflix. He is a former three-time WWE Tag Team Champion, one of the most respected trainers with the Dungeon 2.0. And of course, when it comes to being a cat dad, if I could borrow a phrase, he might be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Of course, we've got WWE producer TJ Wilson back. Hey, man, what's going on?
How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Like I said, I like this little tradition we've got. This is your fourth
nice.
time back on, man. We'd like to catch up with you once a year there. You were on. Yeah, it's great. It's just enough time, we don't bug you too much, but then we got a whole new year of topics to talk about.
Yeah, no, you guys are great. You guys are always cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And you're one of our favorites, and I want to jump right into it, man. We've got WWE rolling into our neck of the woods, the Toronto, Ontario area, August 20th. You guys got the live event in London, Ontario. Then you're bringing SmackDown to the Scotiabank Arena for Friday on the 21st. Then you guys are wrapping up in Ottawa for Raw on the 24th. And I got to tell you, as much as I love seeing Raw and SmackDown come to Toronto, I'm really pumped up to see that live event snuck in there in London. How much do you love seeing the return of the live events? We're seeing more and more of them, and how important do you think that is for the talent to have?
It's it's so important. You can't really measure it. You can't measure how important those live events are. I understand getting away from them for a little bit. I understand, kind of the whole new change. It was definitely I'm sure a great rest on many people's bodies. So there's positives, there's benefits to limiting the schedule as well, obviously. But the truth is, there are a lot of benefits to the live events, a lot, and it gives fans a chance to see the talent and the matches and the superstars and the shows in a different light, and a little bit more of an intimate relationship. Growing up as a kid, I went to many live events, not really so many TV tapings, or like Canadian Stampede was the first pay-per-view in Calgary that I'd gone to. There was a TV taping maybe in 91 or something, but I didn't go to it. But every show I'd been to in Calgary as a kid were all live events, and it was a totally different experience than that. When I went to Canadian Stampede versus a live event the year before actually was one that we wrestled as kids, but so it's its own anomaly. But it's just such a different experience, and for the talent, it's just so good to get, especially the new talent, to get those reps and to stay sharp, man. I think it's there's a middle ground somewhere where maybe 5 days a week is too much, but maybe twice a month having those loops like that, or 3 days a week versus 5 days a week. I said a month, but 5 days a week. The old schedule when I got hurt, I was wrestling 5 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. It's because I get it too, and especially for some of the veterans, giving the body a rest is a good thing, and the younger kids getting the reps is important. So even if it's once a month, you throw a house show loop in there, just because it seems like everyone has fun with it too, because the veterans are out there doing kind of more fun, laid back stuff, and it's good for the younger guys getting those reps in, right?
Yeah, and we've done it and we still have the tours and stuff. We were in Liverpool. Man, my dates are all messed up now. We were in Liverpool a little bit before Clash in Italy, and it was a live event, and Fatal Attraction, they had a match. And I'm sorry, yeah, Fatal Attraction, right? That's their. I get confused with, and Fatal Influence was the previous one. Fatal Attraction, they had a match, and they came back and they said a lot of really smart things. You know, this is one of their first. They debuted on TV, but this is like one of their first live events, and it was European. It was like a tour, you know, and they said a lot of smart things after, and they just were like, "Hey, like, do you think this worked?" And I was like, "That's kind of the beauty of these live events is you get to play with and figure out what works and what doesn't work." I was so lucky that, and I never thought of a WWE world where those didn't exist. So it's one of those things you kind of didn't. You do realize what you have in the moment. Once it's gone, you're like, oh wow, those live events when I was a talent really made a difference. Really, really made a difference.
It's cool too because like we're about the same age, so like back in the day, the live events were the draw. Like they would build TV would build to the live events, right? And now we're like flipping it around, and it's like the live events are kind of like the extra.
The old live event schedule. Billy Red Lions would be reading the live event to help me get through many like social studies tests and stuff like. What province is Sarnia in? And I was like, Ontario. I've heard Billy Red Lions promote a show there.
Don't you dare miss it, brother. Now I want to talk about a live event tour that I noticed doing some research for you coming on here that you got to take part in. I want to take you back to 2010, and you and Harry got to team up with Brett for a loop. You guys were working the Nexus a lot. That's really cool to look back on, man. What do you remember about doing that loop with Brett?
Yeah, we did like 5 days or a week or something in Europe with I remember I think Heath's grandma ended up getting sick or passing away and he had to leave. But Brett really liked working with Heath. And but I remember it was like Heath, Bray, it was Husky. Otunga
was in there, I think.
Yeah, we man, it was, and we did one at MSG once too. We did a 6-man with Brett at MSG, Bret Hart Appreciation Night against the Nexus. Actually, it was kind of funny that there was there's a European tour in France, so there were a couple of Nexus guys were there. I think maybe like Wade and Otunga were in France, and then Ryback was hurt. And Darren Young was out of the group, and Brian was, he was already, when he came back at SummerSlam, he's not in the group. So this was, we wrestled Heath, Gabriel, and Tarver. But then the funny thing is, it was like myself, Harry, Brett, we had Natty, Jerry Lawler, like presented Brett with a painting. So it was like the whole thing with the Nexus is that they had the numbers game and they outnumber you, and here we are, there's 5 of us and 3 of them. But it was awesome. It was so awesome to team with Brett in Madison Square Garden. Man, I mean, everyone knows that that's the most famous arena in the world. My first match there, I wrestled Finley on ECW TV. That's cool that it was a TV tape, one of the last at that time. It was so cool that I could go back and watch my first match at MSG. I could watch it on YouTube at any time. I have a singles match with Harry at MSG. I have a lot of, and then like a 6-man with Brett. I have a lot of really cool MSG moments. I love, that is the most famous arena in the world. I love that arena.
No, that's so cool, man. Okay, so TJ, this is like you said, the 4th time on here, and we always like to keep things pretty light on the show. We have fun conversations, but I'm gonna throw a heavy hitting question at you here because it's driving me crazy. I got to know about it. I have watched every season of WWE Unreal so far. I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Gives me throwbacks to like when I was younger, watching, Wrestling with Shadows and Beyond the Mat and stuff.
Yeah. I get that.
I gotta know, what is up with the Sour Patch Kids on the desk in Gorilla? I see it almost every season back there. And is there a story behind this? How this evolved, or is it just someone plots?
I don't know how it's evolved. I don't know the story of the origin. I just know that there's always a big there's a big bag of Sour Patch Kids at the desk in Gorilla. And like sometimes I'll be there sometimes when it gets delivered. And like I've been there wearing like a production person brings in sometimes like a giant, like almost like a Costco bag. Once in a while, it's always like that movie theater style bag, but sometimes it's the Costco brand, and it's like
Massive. Just see everyone crushing him back there. I'm wondering. I was talking to a friend of mine saying that preparing for this interview, and he's like, we were talking about it. He's like, I've been dying to know that. It's like a thing now. It's spreading. The mystery of the Sour Patch Kids.
I think a part of it also is like it's funny. So I never partake in the Sour Patch Kids. I never really eat those. But just outside Gorilla, we have like you'll probably have seen it when people are like walking through during the entrances of when they walk through from backstage through Gorilla. But we have these little cases right outside Gorilla. There's a little case that has like gum and Tic Tacs and Halls in it. I usually go. I'll grab some Halls. I think it's a nervous thing. I think the same with the candy. It's a nervous thing. It's something like that moment right before, as a talent and as a producer, that moment right before you go out is like, as a producer, it's a different nerve wracking. As a talent, right before, I just had this talk again with Laney and Fallon and JC, but like right before you go out, there's this moment. I used to get it where I would be so terrified and just like this wave of nerves would hit. And it's like this, it's kind of tricky to explain, but it's this little moment like right before like your music hits or your opponent's music hits. And you're just like, I would get this terrible nervous feeling. And I just would be like, I wish I could fast forward and just like the match goes well and just come back to the part where we get back here and everybody's happy and I would get so nervous. But then the second like your music hits, or like, and you walk through it, all that nervousness like disappears. It's just like little, like maybe like 20-second window that is like this crazy ball of nerves. And I think that's where the candy comes into play a lot.
Oh, that's actually a pretty unique twist.
As a producer, it's a little different. It's like once that match starts, it's a little different. On their entrance, you're kind of holding your breath, and then it's when that match starts that it's like, okay, shit, planning some big things. I hope that this goes down.
Yeah, and I think that's one takeaway from Unreal that I've really enjoyed is that I think it really puts a spotlight on the producers and just how difficult the job is that you guys do. I think people might from the outside look in and be like, oh, you guys just kind of talk to the wrestlers and plan out a match, but there's so much more to it. And we've really seen that spotlight with the pressures that are put on you guys to make sure everything's running smoothly. We famously see the couple scenes with Abyss getting chewed out a little bit and Unreal, right? So I gotta wonder, have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're on the headsets as a producer and things aren't going, as they should be, and you're feeling that pressure too?
Absolutely. Every producer's experienced it. We've all either the match missed the mark or I thought I understood something. It turned out I completely misunderstood the assignment. And it's happened to all of us. Sometimes it's really small. Sometimes it's made to be a bigger deal. And, what I think WWE is good at, and I just think what wrestling really, it's all very fluid. And so everything's constantly moving. So they say we plan for something to go exactly this way, but then just say it's my fault, through my game planning, instead of it going exactly this way, now it's a little bit here. I always believe that WWE is good enough that either we find the right measures to bring it back to here, or here's a good direction and we go that. Like, so it's always constantly moving and it's fluid, where I've realized over time that these mistakes that seem really big, you don't want to make them. We try our best not to make them. Obviously, we're not like, who cares? I never have approached any match like that. But you do realize, I've come to realize that as long as it's a mistake and nobody, my whole thing is, as long as nobody, and I speak from my personal experience, but as long as nobody gets hurt, I'm okay. I'm okay with this segment. As long as nobody got seriously hurt, I'm okay with this segment. The match can fall off the rails. Every single person that's ever put on a pair of boots or gotten in the ring has had a terrible match. So it's going to happen. I've had plenty. If I was still wrestling, I'd have a few more. the terrible matches stopped when I stopped wrestling. So I think you just have to know that things are going to happen, and not everything's going to go perfect. I've been in trouble before. I was told it was very funny because I had his match at SummerSlam against Penta, but I was told I killed Chad Gable's career in 2019.
Oh, really? Eh?
So I don't know. He seems to be doing pretty damn good.
I was gonna say someone might be off the mark a little bit on that one, but
So it's just, but that's kind of how a reaction, like some of the stuff you see in Unreal, like Abyss and stuff. Amazing producer, but you see kind of like everything's a little bit amplified. It's live TV, it's Netflix, or it's USA Network, or it's ESPN. Like these are all like big things. So things are going to be really amplified in that moment, and then a couple moments later, you realize that, like, again, where my belief system, as long as the people aren't injured and aren't hurt, we're going to be okay.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are the top company in the world. You're all professionals. You're all the best at what you do. Everyone knows how to pivot and make it work, right?
I work with amazing people in the
Absolutely.
truck, the talent, the other producers. I mean, we have a great team. I truly believe we have a great team. I see I see a lot of talk, and I get I get all the talk, and everyone's allowed to have their opinions, and it's all okay. But truly, we have a great team, and I know it sounds cliche or whatever, but I've been in WWE a long time. November will be 20 years so I mean, I do see this place as a family, and I know people. I've seen takes on people saying that, and I understand, but when you're living it and when you're in it, it's hard to kind of see it as anything but. I feel like I've been with these people for 20 years. Like, there's certain people at work that I've seen this whole time I've been here. Like, of course, there's overturn, and some of my dear friends are not here. Like Kofi is now no longer here, but like a guy like The Miz has been here since before I got here. He's someone I've seen. Every time I come to work, I see The Miz. I see Triple H. These are people I've been seeing for so long that, like, how are they not family at this point? It doesn't make sense. And so that's just my point of view on it. That's all.
No, 100%, man. And it's a business, every job has people that come and go too. Like, and like I've worked in the restaurant industry for over 20 years, and I have people that I've worked with for multiple years in that. And I've had people that, they come, it's business at the end of the day. There's family, but it's still business.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. And, we're just a couple weeks removed as we record this from SummerSlam, which I thought was an incredible 2 nights. And one of the huge positive moments of that weekend was the return of Kevin Owens. I think that's a huge boost for everybody. And, a lot of rumors that Kevin's career might. Yeah, man. I was in the Elimination Chamber for the match with Sammy, and that's the last time we really got to see him, right? And he comes back out, and I'd just love to know, you said goosebumps there. When did you first hear that, hey, Kevin is coming back, and what were you feeling just watching him have that moment, taking it in on the ramp as he made his entrance at SummerSlam?
Yeah, man, I'm literally covered in goosebumps right now. Because Kevin, anytime somebody gets a neck injury, especially, I experienced it too when it, like, I'd always joke it becomes this broken neck club, but like you reach out to, like, the people that have been hurt reach out to you. Like, when I got hurt, I mean, it's name drop. But I had, like, Edge, I was at least already friends with, but I had, like, Kurt Angle reaching out to me, who I'd like met him at time, but I didn't know him. Steve Austin calling me, like, I was like, damn, all I do is break my neck for these guys. No, but so I talked to Kevin a lot through the process, and it was a tough process for him. Obviously, he was out for 17 months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, man, so I didn't, contrary to popular belief, like, but we don't know a lot of stuff. Like, I didn't know that Kevin was wrestling that day. I found out Sunday. I heard somebody talking, and I heard them talking about a stunner. And so I thought, oh, Kevin was doing something with Sammy and the Finn match. I didn't realize Gunther's being added, Kevin's being added and coming back. I didn't realize that. So I mean, that was when I realized. Like I saw them maybe like 2 hours before, and I kind of saw that Kevin was in gear, and I was like, oh, guess he's. And the truth is, I watch a lot of the shows, or almost the whole show from Gorilla. I like being in there. I'll be there like 5 matches before my own. I just like being in there. And that's where I like the energy. That's the last place these talent go before they head out and before the world sees them, So I was in Gorilla, and then Kevin came in, and I was so excited for him. I was watching his match and just wondering like, what does he feel like right now? Because, I experienced the one part of it where it does come to a screeching halt with your neck, but I never experienced that other side of it where you go have the match again. And so that was awesome. I saw him on Friday at SmackDown and asked him how he's feeling. He told me he felt pretty good. So, I mean, I'm glad he didn't. If he'd said he was a little banged up, it would make perfect sense too. He hasn't wrestled in nearly 18 months. But, I mean, it just shows you that Kevin's made for this. He's gone that long, and he said he's totally fine. And he looked at it, and I thought, I was very excited to see him back. I think he's going to do awesome. I think all injuries suck, but what they do have the ability to do is kind of recenter you and really get you laser focused. And I think it's a scary place if Kevin Owens is really scary and laser focused.
Yeah, I mean, him and Punk, what a fresh, fun matchup that is for everybody too, right?
Yeah, and a lot of the backstory that not everyone knows, but some people know, and I feel like they'll probably do a pretty good job of explaining what that is throughout the weeks. I mean, I'm excited. I watch a lot of the show as a fan. I try not to know what's going on. At these PLEs especially, I will do my absolute best not to know what's going on. That's why I didn't know Kevin was wrestling. I try not to know. I literally, I try my best. It's obviously not easy, but I try to still be that 15-year-old fan.
Yeah, I know for me, Royal Rumble Day, I text everybody I know, don't talk to me. If I watch it on delay, my phone is off the whole day. Like I got to keep some of the magic alive for sure, man.
Rumble's awesome because it's just, yeah, it just works. Like Rumble's just so great. I love the entire aspect of it. I saw we were going to Phoenix, which I love Phoenix. So that'll be so much fun for me. I love Phoenix. Last time we were there was Ronda and Sasha had a match. We did Rumble 2019 then.
Yeah.
But Rumble's cool. Just the whole design of it's great. Like the fans count down every 90 seconds. The fans do the 10-second countdown. You never know exactly who's coming out. It could be a surprise. It could be someone coming back from an injury. Like there's how many different people have debut in the Rumble. It's pretty crazy.
Well, now you got the relationship with TNA, you got AAA, you've got, the legends. It's just a whole different animal now too, right?
Absolutely. It's fun.
So I want to go back to SummerSlam for a minute here. I got to talk about Chelsea Green becoming the interim women's champion. I think that's the moment that, I feel like it was universally celebrated by the fans, by the locker room. Can you just talk a little bit about, your reaction to seeing Chelsea finally, literally climb the mountaintop and get that big moment? It must have felt great for all you guys to see as well.
It's the same thing. That wasn't my match, so I did my best to avoid any spoilers. Thought I knew, but I thought I've known before and been wrong. So I wanted to just watch and enjoy it. And man, I thought it was incredible. I thought it was the right call. I thought I really loved how a little bit before she won it looked like she had that one moment to win it, and then Michin and BFAB come out, and I think a lot of people thought that was going to be the closest Chelsea got to, that maybe that was the closest she was going to get to winning in that match. So I think then when she overcame it again, I think that made that reaction that much crazy. That was, what a reaction. The reaction in the stadium was probably only matched by the reaction backstage in Gorilla. Yeah, everyone was very happy, and I thought all 5 of those girls, I thought they killed that match. I thought it was badass. Those ladder matches, I know a lot of people haven't been in ladder matches. Obviously, they're different. The ladder doesn't always. He's not always in on what's supposed to happen.
Yes.
Those ladders have a mind of their own, man.
I've never heard it put that way before.
And you can't, like, you know, you can if you take some kind of fall on these ladders and when they're propped up on ropes and stuff, the chance of like the same landing twice is so rare. Like it's going to be a different bounce. It's like you might take a crazy bump on the ladder and it might look crazy, and because due to like just everything falling your way, maybe that one doesn't hurt so much. You might take one that doesn't look like anything and you hit every rung and it hurts like hell. Like I've only been in 2 ladder matches, and I definitely experienced that where you're like, oh wow, this thing I thought was going to be okay destroyed me, and this other thing that felt so crazy was okay. It's kind of a little bit of Russian roulette, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding. And it's so crazy too, like just how dangerous a ladder match could be. And you know, the next night a couple nights later on SmackDown, she gets hurt in just a normal match too. It's like you'd think that maybe
Yeah,
the injury would happen in the ladder match, and it just
yeah.
shows how dangerous what you guys do on any
That's what
given
the
night,
odds. That's
right?
what the odds would say in this 5-way ladder match with ladders and 4 other human beings in their brains and their. That's probably the match you're gonna get hurt. And then that's wrestling. It just is. Everything's always up for grabs. You always have the chance to. This could be the chance you really connect with the crowd. This could be the chance that everything really takes off. This could be the chance that you as a talent, everything kind of clicks. This could be the match where you get injured. You know what I mean? Like everything's always up for grabs in every match, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the like trial by fire game we play a little bit, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, we want to wish the speediest recovery to Chelsea, obviously.
She's
Hopefully
tough.
yeah,
She's tough. She's Canadian tough. She's as tough as they come. She'll
that's
be.
it.
Look at Chelsea. She's had some setbacks. She'll find a way to entertain everybody throughout anyway. She's great.
Yeah, I'm hoping that she can stay on TV somehow and keep this title because, you know, we see that big moment for her. Like, I just want to see her run with it. So I'm hoping for the best for her on that one.
Yeah, if anyone can, I think probably Chelsea can.
Absolutely. And then the last thing I want to touch on about SummerSlam, because this was another big shocking moment. We saw Brock Lesnar seemingly have his last match. He's announced. Did you have a feeling that maybe heading into this show that this could be it for Brock? I know there's been a lot of rumors this year. And how important do you think it was for Brock to kind of have that moment with Oba, like that passing of the torch moment?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought going into it, I kind of thought that's where Brock was heading. Not that he told me that or anybody else even really told me that. It just kind of was, I guess, the belief. So I just kind of fell into it a little bit. I would definitely think, not to speak for Brock, but I would definitely think it was very important for him to want to do that for Oba. I think he sees a lot in Oba. I know he does. And I think it's really cool that Brock wanted to, because like, say for example, if out of this, when did Brock come back? 2012, so 14 years. So in this 14 years, if Oba was the only guy he'd kind of like done that for, that would be amazing. But the truth is, he's done it for a few guys, like Cody. He had that run with Cody a couple years ago, and it was kind of not the same, but he was the one who raised Cody's arm after the third one. So like Brock, I think he definitely doesn't get. He gets a lot of credit for things. I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves for. And this will be taken wrong, but that's okay. But he doesn't get the credit for making people that I think that he really does. And even if he beats the guy, and then the internet will say that person's buried or whatever, and that's fine. They don't fully understand, and that's okay. But like for example, when Brock wrestled Roman at WrestleMania 31, there was a physical side of Roman that we hadn't seen yet, and it came out in that match. Brock brought that out, and then Roman figured out how to bring that physicality out without Brock's help. but I think Brock did that for a lot of people, and I think maybe that gets overlooked at times, and I understand why, because people are looking for these other things. I'm looking at wrestling in a different way a lot of times, I feel like, and so I saw in the last at least 11 years, 10 years, how many people Brock brought that aggression out of, whether they end up beating him or not. I looked at their work differently, and they were a different performer coming out than they were going in. I mean, maybe across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, that's badass. And I don't know if everyone can say that they've done that.
I always thought Brock never got enough credit for his selling. I think Brock's a fantastic seller.
Amazing. He's one of the best.
Yeah.
One of the best.
So you're no stranger though to being around some big guys, obviously be in the locker room. And there's someone that anytime I hear them speak, they always speak so highly of you and Natty, and that's the great Khali. And I heard you guys used to travel together, and I gotta know, what is it like to travel with somebody like the great Khali? I can't picture that car with the three of you guys in there. It's hilarious.
No, well, it'd be the four of us. Harry'd be there too.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was crazy. It was the whole summer of 2009 was Hart Dynasty and Crime Time. We did a loop in we did Regina. Yeah, we did Regina, Medicine Hat, and then we had Calgary TV. I ended up going to Red Deer for a live event, and then Edmonton. But I like, man, driving through Canada with Khali, like we drove everywhere with him. But it would be so crazy. It'd either be, so I would drive, Khali would be in the front seat. Khali would always be in the front seat, and that seat's it always have to be an SUV, obviously, and that seat is all the way back. So if I'm driving, Harry's obviously big too, so Harry's behind me. Khali's in the front, and Natty's like kind of squished behind him. Then we couldn't really do it with Harry driving. It would have to be either Natty drives or I drive, because if Harry drove, then like both of them are gonna just be too far back. So Harry always had to sit behind the driver. So like then if Natty drove, Harry's behind her, and I'm behind Khali with like my legs like. I mean, I got my hips were really flexible by the time we got to the town, but like,
it's your stretch.
You couldn't. There's no such thing as like a quick stop. Like we'd stop. You'd stop at a gas station, and people would see Khali and just freak out. They just would freak out. But some people wouldn't. They didn't know what they knew him from. They knew, like, I think a lot of people knew him from The Longest Yard. Obviously through wrestling too. People sometimes they would see him and they'd just be in such awe. Like we got invited to parties. Like we stopped at a gas station, get invited to parties. He loved going to IHOP. IHOP was always a big stop. Coming in, and IHOP a lot of these places would be like 24 hours. So you show up at like 1 a.m. IHOP with the giant that wants to order 8 egg whites, 6 turkey chicken breasts. Like, get ready for his order.
Oh man,
yeah,
that's wild.
The funniest time, I think, we went to a Gold's Gym, and Ali. One thing about him, we'd get to the gym, he would work out hard, and he would. I mean, he was strong too, upper body especially. I saw him training legs a little bit, but his upper body is. I remember him just curling a lot. But there's one day we're done working out, and he is like wearing a tank top. He's covered in sweat, and there's like, of course, only Khali could reach this, but like they had all these Gold Gym shirts, and he's like pointing to this one at the top, and he's like, "Hey, brother, you think that one fits me?" Then I was like, Khali, there's no way that shirt. He's like, "Yeah, I think fits." Then I was like, "There's no way." Only he could have grabbed it. He grabs this thing. He holds it up. He put it on over his other shirt. And as he's like, he almost had to like roll it. As he's rolling it on, he's like, yeah, you're right, it doesn't fit. He's so sweaty too, by the way. And he like peels it off of himself and puts it on the hanger and puts it on top. So somebody got an extra special Kali shirt when they bought that one. They got a little Kali sweat. So maybe like Spider-Man style. Maybe that person woke up the next day and they're 8 feet tall.
Yeah, no kidding. The magic Kali sweat hits the growth spurt.
Yeah, but like when he held it up, it looked like this. It was like, Kali, is that not going to fit you? I don't know. It was so strange. And the funny thing is that he put it on right there in front of the whole front desk. It was always the same thing. Like we'd walk into a gym, we like never paid. Kali would always people just go crazy seeing him. It was such a different thing with him. It's so funny.
Oh, that's so awesome. I want to pivot to something else that you did that's really cool. You teamed up with Zack Ryder and you got to go in there with Rowdy Piper. That is awesome, man, especially with Piper's history with the Hart family. That must have been a pretty cool moment for you to take part in as well.
Yeah, there's like little lists of guys that I try to go down like Finley, like Fit has wrestled Brett, he's wrestled Davey, he's wrestled Owen, he's wrestled Jim, he's wrestled myself, he's wrestled Harry. Like I try to go down the list of like who's kind of wrestled, and I know I'm extended, but I always try to go down the list of who's wrestled the most of us. And so then like, Piper, the fact that I remember texting Brett like that, hey, I'm gonna wrestle Roddy Piper today. It just was so funny that he was like, really? And it was like, how'd that come about? And it was just Broski and I, Zach and I just got a text one day, hey, we're gonna use you guys for this fantasy factory with Roddy Piper and Rob Dyrdek, which I believe he's passed away too, right? That's so crazy.
Oh, did he really? I didn't know that.
I believe so. That's crazy. But it was a fun experience, man. It was it was at Access, but it was like I was either going to be doing a signing that day or I could have this experience wrestling Roddy Piper and Rob Dyrdek on Fantasy Factory, which was, it's a hell of a story. It was funny. I'd never seen that footage that WWE put out a little while ago. I've seen the match before when it aired on their show, and I have a clip of like a fans version that was there that day, but I've never seen that footage WWE had. That was insane.
Yeah, man, that was super, super cool to see it. And I know Mike, who's not here today, but his favorite match of all time is Brett and Rowdy at Mania 8. And I don't think that match gets enough love for what it is too. Like, you talk about like the history of Mania matches and Brett's catalog. Yeah. That match always gets slept on, but it's so
I think
good.
Part of it is, I think a little bit of that maybe is that it's kind of like, I don't know exactly this, but I think a part of it, I think being babyface doesn't hold it in the same light as like, Hogan Andre, where it's the bad guy and the very defined bad guy and the very defined good guy. Brett and Roddy was very different. But to your point, definitely holds up. It's a physical match. It was actually a little bit of what I just said about like Brock and Roman at WrestleMania 31. I'm pointing, I have this Bret Hart standee right there that I'm looking at. So I'm pointing at Bret. But it was almost like we'd seen it before, obviously, as a bad guy in the Harper Nation, but I don't know that we'd seen it, definitely not on display like that as a good guy, singles guy, Bret, with that. We never saw him push to that physical limit at that. And to see him fight back through that, like, he's bleeding, and it just, I think you're right. The match definitely holds up, and it definitely does get slept on. But I believe part of it is I think Bret went on to do other big things. So that's probably a reason why. And also because I think is this good guy. I think.
Yeah. I always like when Bret was in a babyface match and would lean in to the heel role a little bit because he would just do the subtle things.
Yep.
Like he never like would fully, but like he would close his fist instead, or maybe like do a little eye rake, but he would never like fully break it, but just enough to be like, I'm gonna be the heel of this one. Like I
and in
love
that,
that.
I think it's more so Piper
Piper
takes
does
that
it in
role a
that
little bit,
one,
but
yeah.
I'm with you. I love when Brett takes that role.
Yeah, I just
Again,
like
I
the
kind of
subtle.
Brett as the heel, like 97, or just as like when he's super aggressive. My favorite, man.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite wrestler ever.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Like growing up, Brett's obviously a hero to all of us here. So he's coming to Hamilton for a Comic-Con soon. So I'm gonna
Awesome.
try to sneak out there and
Yeah,
see
I'm
if
gonna
I
see
can.
him this month at Cauliflower Alley. Is going into
Yeah,
the Hall of Fame.
yeah. We actually just had Brian Blair on the show last week talking all about
Oh yeah,
that. So yeah, it's
I
gonna be
saw
good.
Brian at SummerSlam. I love Brian Blair. He's awesome. He's an awesome,
Yeah.
yeah, very good friend of mine.
Yeah, great stuff they're doing. Cauliflower Brett's there. Bronwyn's going to be there this year as well. She's showing up
Oh,
to do
I know
that,
that.
and yeah, hopefully, she's got the big quest going where she's trying to
Yeah,
get her
yeah.
dad in the Hall of Fame.
The Dynamite. He'll get there. He'll get there. In my mind, I see things very differently. I understand everyone wants their loved ones in the Hall of Fame, especially when they, especially maybe you kind of race for it. I think now more so when the person's around, so they can kind of experience it and kind of get their flowers. But I understand people wanting their loved ones in now. The thing is, to me, the way I've always seen it is like the Hall of Fame isn't a race, and like to me, the Hall of Fame, like people aren't being put in. Like whenever you get put in, it's not it's not what's the word? It's not for like how valuable you are. Like it wasn't like, okay, Hulk Hogan has to be the first guy in. There's
Yeah.
how many people are in the Hall of Fame before Hulk Hogan in WWE Hall of Fame? How many
Yeah.
people are in the WWE? And so to me, the race isn't that, because it's a business, like we said earlier. So like you're gonna need that top guy to go in each year. And because obviously you could do the first few Hall of Fames, you could burn out every top guy in very quickly if you just made it
100%.
strictly, hey, you need at least 5 world championships to be in this Hall of Fame. We're gonna run out of top guys very quickly.
Yeah, 100%.
So and even when I wasn't in WWE, that's how I looked at the Hall of Fame. That I was like, I understand, and I understand everybody. Everyone has a sense of urgency, and I get that, but I never saw it as a race because I understand how the dominoes have to kind of fall, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I want to shift gears. I want to talk a little bit about Natty. And this year, the WWE Universe has finally got to see this new aggressive side to Natty. We've got the Natty evolution, I guess. We've
Yeah.
seen it kind of in Bloodsport and on the Indies the last couple of years,
Yes,
really
sir.
building up, man. I absolutely love seeing this. I feel like this is the Natty that, especially all of us in Canada who've loved Natty forever, we wanted to see this forever. What went into this? Like these conversations that you and Natty had? Is she like? How did this kind of character come to evolve to be?
It's funny, you would think that generally that would kind of be the process, but Natty, she kind of did this on her own. When I say kind of, I mean Natty did this on her own. I just kind of saw a little, like I saw some of what she was kind of planning at that first Bloodsport in terms of like presenting a different look and a different flavor, I guess. And I was blown away. I'd seen little glimpses, and when I saw that first one, I was blown away. I didn't realize that that's what it was, and I had. It would be nice to say that I had a hand in it. I didn't. She that was her, and it was really cool to see. She's done a phenomenal job with everything. I mean, she's done a phenomenal. I'm her biggest fan. She's done a phenomenal job with everything that she's done. But she's done phenomenal with this Natty stuff. I think I really like all of her stuff recently from NXT. I like the stuff that she's done in AAA. She's had an awesome match at NWA with two sisters.
Kenzie Page, I know, is one of them.
Yes, and I forgot the younger one's name. They're such nice people too. They're awesome. They're very talented. They're very talented. Um, it's killing me right now.
Yeah, I can't remember because I know she just did the triple threat, right?
Yeah, and it was yeah, and they did a great job. And the younger one turned on the older one, and they did awesome. And also it's cool. That's the second time, maybe. I don't think the third. I think it's the second time Natty's wrestled at the ECW arena, which is
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I never wrestled there. I've been there obviously now a few times, and obviously watched it at times. Didn't really get ECW in Canada. Harry would have tapes of it. That's why I would kind of see it when I was younger. But it's cool. Like that place has a lot of history.
Yeah. Kylie Page, by the way.
Kylie,
It was
yes,
driving me crazy
I
too.
knew it was. It was on the tip of my tongue. Kylie. They're both so talented. They did a great job. Yeah, the new version of Natty, I love. I love. I like like I said, the stuff with Jada, stuff with stuff she did in AAA. I really liked with that with Fabi Apache. Was awesome.
What was it a special moment for you at Bloodsport this year where you, Harry, and Chris Bay kind of walked her out to the ring? That was a pretty cool moment to see.
Yeah, that was Natty wanted that, so I did that. Yeah, that was really cool, and also the fact Chris Bay was going to be involved, I wanted to be a part of that. I've told Chris Bay from when he first got hurt. I reached out to him, and he kind of told me the prognosis on everything. And I talk about it sometimes with Natty, but I told him the whole time. I told him that he'd recover. He'll be okay. Just because I believed it, but even if I didn't, I would have said that because you have to, even if it comes out of like delusion, when you're facing a situation like that and when you have an injury like that, you have to hold on to any little beliefs you can. It's kind of, I've experienced it, so I know it's like the only little things you can, sometimes it's the littlest things you need to kind of get through. Like, it's almost like swinging vine to vine. You just need like a little, like I can't quite get to that one, but if there's just one in between, then maybe I can make this trek. And you're looking for any little bit of hope to hang on to. So, I mean, I reached out to him instantly, and I knew about like the percentages and the numbers and everything. And thus far, he's smoking them all. He's man, this is not about me, but he's proven me right.
100%.
And I couldn't be more happy. I love that guy. I love that kid. Man, I'll be so excited. I'll be emotional, but I'll be so excited when he wrestles again.
Yeah, and I love how you said when, because I believe it's happening too. Like he's an inspiration to everybody.
He's put on a lot of size again. He came to the dungeon last year and did a little bit, and man, it was so awesome to see. I would be at the dungeon. He would send me videos. Like he sent me a video of him in rehab, like jumping. I just like had tears. Like I believed in him the whole time.
No, that's amazing, man. And you mentioned the dungeon. I love what you guys are doing with the dungeon. We've had a lot of our guys from Ontario come up there. Just a couple weeks ago, we had Take It Easy Joey and Dynasty. I do some ring announcing, and I had Dynasty on the show right when they came back. So we were talking about the great time they had up there, and Take It Easy Joey.
Out for it. I always make like this is now the third time I've had guys from Ontario come, so I let them. I train at like right now, just due to scheduling and stuff. We train the dungeons once a week at the moment, but like I make exceptions for those guys, the other Canadian guys that have come, where we do like 2, 3, 4 days. So those guys did awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Now there's other places in Orlando too. So like guys like that, I mean, I love seeing that hustle. Like I saw they trained with Ace Steel. They went maybe. I don't know if they went to, but like there's House of Champions. There's all these other places, and I love that. Of course, Flatbacks, Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears are good friends of mine. So there's all these places guys are going. Like so, at least if they just come and train with, they're not just coming and training with me. They come. There's House of Glory in Orlando. There's a lot of really good places. So those young guys can kind of like, it might become a bit of like information overload, but you're going to come get hit with a lot of stuff in a really short amount of time.
Yeah, and it shows, man. We've had guys like Bryce Hanson, who's
Yep.
the inaugural Counted Out Cup winner. We promoted a show last year. He was our champion in that. Rajan Husher, the artist, he
Yep.
KPK. These guys are exploding on the Ontario independent scene. I feel like these guys, you could see them on TV at any time, and they'd be ready for it. So it's great
Yeah.
stuff. And you guys get a lot of great guests coming. We've seen AJ Styles pop in, John Cena, and you guys just a couple weeks ago had Bayley in there. Bayley, a lot of, uncertainty with what's going on with her and her future in the WWE right now. But like with everything that she's done in the WWE and what she's currently doing now with the Lodson camps and everything, can you
Oh,
just
yeah.
talk a little bit about Bayley and just the impact that she's left inside the ring, outside the ring? I just think she's incredible.
She's one of my favorites, and she knows that. I always say that Bayley changed the culture, and whether that's entirely accurate or not, I don't care. I say it, and I give her that label. I was around at a time, and it's not anybody's fault. It just was kind of the way things were. But I was around at a time when the women might watch the other women matches on the show and just dog it backstage, and not even. I used to do that kind of stuff, but I would at least try to be funny. I was at least what I would try to do. Like I saw a video of Seth and Becky talking about me talking backstage commentary when I was a talent. I don't do it as much as a producer, but what my goal was is like we're on the road at that time, like without exaggerating, like over 150 days a year. So I want to, and we'd be forced, not forced, like. But we were supposed to be at the monitor and watch the show. And when you're on a 12-day European tour and you've seen this, it gets monotonous a little bit. So to break some of that up, I would kind of do my little commentary. Anyway, I've seen a lot of talent in the women's, I mean, in general, but in the women's division years ago, where they maybe weren't so uplifting of each other. But also I understand where they were coming from. For example, if there's only one spot at that time, everyone's clamoring for this one. If there's only one women's match per show at that time, and you're all clamoring for this one match, and you're not in that match that day, you're going to feel a way, and your feelings may come out when you're watching that match that would be the match you would have had that day, if that makes sense. So I understand where it came from, but Bayley is someone that like I see her. I wouldn't even know that she's like it would be shows she's not looked at, and all of a sudden before like a big women's match, all of a sudden Bayley's in Gorilla hugging the girls before they go out, and she's in there cheerleading them on. I've had her. And what I like about her is that she's smart. Everything that she does is she's very smart. She can read a room. She really is. If she had a superpower, it'd probably be that. She's asked to like sit on headset with me a couple times, but she's so smart. She never asks when it's like a crazy stressful day. She doesn't act like she just is able to read the room. Every time she's ever done it, it's been the perfect day to ask. It's worked out. She wants to figure out every aspect of this. She's on this constant quest to understand every aspect of this industry and of this business, and to keep giving back. I mean, we see it with the Lodestone stuff. She came to the dungeon last week and was blown away. So like, it's just awesome. I think she's incredible. The wrestling business is lucky to have Bayley.
Absolutely. And us as fans are lucky to witness Bayley. I think she's one of the best to do it too. So I know we're running quick on time here, so I'm going to try to rapid fire a couple on you here. The last time you were on the show, it was right before Elimination Chamber. And of course, that event happens, and we see the heel turn of John Cena shock the wrestling world. What an incredible moment! I just love to know what your reaction was when you saw that, because I remember that I don't think you were at the show. I don't think you could
No,
make it to Chamber. I
yeah,
think, and so I'm assuming that you just watched that on TV like a fan, and like, were you surprised to see that? What was your reaction to it?
exactly. Um, yeah, I was at home. There was a there was an issue renewing my passport, and so I couldn't get to Elimination Chamber in Canada. The year before, I had no problem getting to Elimination Chamber in Perth, but well, I guess the year before that was in Canada, Montreal, 2023. But it's just funny. Anyway. So I was watching at home. I had a couple of friends over, and I had no clue. I had no clue what was happening at the end. Zero. And if I'd been told, I don't know that I would have really believed it. So to witness it and experience, I just thought like, oh wow, this is crazy. We all knew that it was his. We all knew it was John's last year. So I just remember thinking like, wow, this is so crazy. Like, turn him now. Oh, maybe that's genius. And I think there is a version of that like I don't want to say that it didn't work, obviously, but I think there's a version where it works better. I think it could have worked a lot better. I'm not going to sit here and try to book that out. I think I booked a little bit in Stampede Wrestling for like 2 weeks. Well, for like 2 months. But after like 2 weeks, it gets hard. And like I mean, it's easy to do it from your couch, but when you're actually behind the seat, I don't. And that's okay. It's okay if people don't. With any aspect of what we do, people don't quite get how hard a lot of what we do is. I truly believe that booking at the rate of like 2.5 hour Raw and 2 hour SmackDown every week, I think it's an extremely hard job, and I think you're gonna. I don't know if there's gonna be a handful of people in the whole world that can do it. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's impossible. I would have liked to have seen, like in my mind, when I first saw Cena turn, when I first saw, I kind of had visions of, and maybe a lot of people did, but of like Hulk and the NWO, and it didn't become that,
Mm-hmm.
And so, in that sense, that's a letdown and disappointment. But we also knew it was this, as fans, even like take me working there out of it. As fans, we knew that Cena had under a year left. That was in February. We knew he was done in December.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we knew that it already, even this version only had a very limited shelf life anyway,
I
So
I like
I
parts of it.
appreciate the
Like,
attempt.
yeah, like I like the parts of it where he was like, "What, you want me to change my gear? I'm not giving you what you want." Like I like that stuff. I thought that was really good. But I think like people were what happened after that moment is what's going to stand in time, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that heel turn moment is what we're going to be remembering in 10, 20, 30 years.
yeah.
It's not going to be, "Oh, well, this promo was a miss," or this, you know what I mean? Like that moment.
Yeah, and also the other tricky part is that of all those years that the fans may have wanted Cena to turn, I don't think it was that. The last year, I don't think was the like because when he did that promo before SummerSlam and basically said, "Hey, I'm done being a bad guy,"
Yeah.
the people completely accepted it.
Yeah.
Wasn't
No, they
like,
were
"Hey, wait a
ready.
minute." It was like, "Yes, sir. Thank you." I don't know. It was strange.
Yeah, there were some unique moments to it, but that what a moment to be in the building for. It's something I'm
Oh,
never gonna
being there
forget.
live must have been crazy.
Yeah, I mean that whole segment was crazy from Cody telling The Rock where to stick it to because
Yeah.
you never hear that on WWE TV to the yeah, it was a crazy moment for sure, man. Um, really quick, I just got two quick ones here. I just want to get your take on the mass versus mass match, El Grande Americano. What an incredible moment this year. It's going to be hard to beat for match of the year for sure.
Oh my God, the whole spectacle, the whole thing. I mean, I can't tell you how many people sent me the clip of them brawling maybe like 2 or 3 weeks before the actual match. I got sent that from so many people. Look how great this was, blah, blah, blah. Yo, do you know what they're doing down there in Mexico? Yeah, I do. But yeah, man. And who would have thought? Who would have thought that that match, like when you first saw it the very first time, El Grande Americano, and then online is like a little bit of backlash, but that quickly went away. And then just the evolution of like, and then Gable gets hurt, and then the other Americano, and then the original one's back, and the way that the fans of AAA just embraced the gimmick and just the whole thing. I mean, man, if there's ever, and this is, all credit to those two guys for sure, but if you ever needed proof that like the audience is the third man in a match, what more proof than that? I mean, anytime a match, whether it's your cup of tea or not, anytime a match has that type of emotion from the audience, you have to pay special attention to it. You have to almost like study it and break it down and try to figure, and it's going to be an impossible task, like a scientist in a lab. But you got to sit and try to figure out like, what were all the moments? Like, how did they bring the people with them on that ride for every single, it's easy on the big twists and turns, like on a roller coaster, everybody's going to react when you're flipping upside down, but how do you get their imagination for the whole thing? And I mean, that match is incredible, and I agree with you. Good luck topping that one. I mean, there's some incredible wrestlers in the world right now, and there's some incredible talent and some great matches that are happening. So it could be done, but good luck, because that match.
Well, and like you said, the people took to it. Like he was on El Grande Americano was shown on the World Cup with all those celebrities in Mexico. Like that's insane. The World Cup, like that's crazy.
And I've done some of the AAA shows. I've been there and seen some of his reaction, and just it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Those fans are. I mean, obviously, I've always known that. But those fans in Mexico they're special. They're special. If you're a wrestler, if you're a young wrestler in this business, you got to try to get in front of those fans at some point. You have to.
Oh man, that's crazy. And I'm just taking a look at the time here, so I want to wrap up with my last question. I would love to continue this conversation because I love this relationship with WWE AAA and what Taker's doing and how we're seeing talent on both ends and how the booking is with all that. I think that's such a fascinating time right now. But that'll have to be for next time, TJ. That's just an excuse to get you back on for the fifth time. So the last question I'll ask you, this is a new thing I started doing recently, and I like to put a little bit of twist on a Mount Rushmore, because the Mount Rushmore questions are popular, but I find that like, oh, what's your favorite wrestlers? Like it's boring, right? So I would like to know for you personally, if you were to take a look back at all of your accomplishments from your career, whether it's in the ring, outside of the ring, what you would say is the Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson, Mount Rushmore career highlights.
Wow. Huh. Damn. This is a hell of a question. Well, I would have to say we're coming up on 30 years of the match we had as kids at a WWF live event in October '96. I told Vince's story, I guess 9 years ago, but I told him the story about the match one time we were talking. And we were on the front of the newspaper, the Calgary Sun. And it was the Sunday Sun, which so like at the time, 30 years ago, that's the one that TV Guide came in. That was the popular one. So we were on the cover of this very popular newspaper in the city. And so the next day, I was in 11th grade. The next day at school, I went to go to the little pizza place across the street. And I got a slice of pizza, and I was Canadian at the time, so I called it pop, but now I call it soda. But and then the guy gave it. He said, "Hey, I saw you in the paper," and so he gave it to me for free that day. So I got free lunch. So thank you. Um, but like man, it was Harry was 11. I don't know what it's like for him. I was 16, and I thought I ruled the world. So that match has to be on there for me. Um, Winning the tag titles with Harry definitely has to be there. It's kind of that my very first match is a tag match with Harry, and then to win the WWE tag team titles together 15 years later. Um, I would say winning the titles back with Cesaro, just in the sense that I got back there it was 5 years later. It's not an easy hill to climb, mountain to climb. And the last one, man, I mean, I'd have to say producer something. In my mind, it's probably man, I have a few. Probably, I mean, Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda's the first women main event in WrestleMania history, and I was very lucky to be the producer on that. The 2 years later is the Sasha Bianca match, which I'm also super proud of. I guess another honorable mention in terms of my in-ring would be clothesline Vince at WrestleMania is pretty badass.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome, man. And we can give an honorable mention. I didn't know if you're gonna mention or not, but your time on Total Divas, I didn't know if that was gonna make the cut or
No,
not.
that was so funny, man. Like that time on Total Divas, I think helped me a lot because also
Yeah.
I just been injured too. So that was my first injury I'd ever had. So that really helped me a lot. I think it helped me. At the time, guys were kind of getting. It was this weird period of time. Guys were kind of getting hurt, and then once they get cleared, it was almost like hard to get back into the rotation again. And you kind of get let go, and I did have a hard time getting back in the rotation after that injury. But I think Total Divas is what kind of kept me uh, afloat while we're talking right now.
I love Total Divas. I'm not gonna lie, I got a soft spot for it. I'm all for the rumors of the return, man. I hear all the girls talking about it. Let's get it back on there. Throw you
No,
on there with Natty again. Let's do
no
it.
problem. You can
TJ,
go to
this yeah, that's it. TJ, this was great, man. Thank you
Oh
so
yeah, my
much.
pleasure.
We really appreciate you always making time for us, man. This is one of my favorite parts of the year is catching up with you. All the best to you and Natty. Keep doing what you guys are doing. The Dungeon, WWE returning back to Ontario. We can't wait to have you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Been a great talk always.